When the Magi got to the house and they saw Jesus, they fell on the ground and they worshiped him. And we see this thread through the whole story. They believed in Jesus' worth. Right? They fell down and worshiped him. They took a long and difficult, probably dangerous journey, and then they gave Jesus costly gifts. Jesus was worthy of worship, and their worship was not just in the journey, and it was not just in their bowing, it was not just in their gifts. The worship was all of it. The worship was their time and their talent and their treasure. I had no idea what Gary was going to be praying tonight, but it fits with where we are right now. See, this group of people gave Jesus every part of their lives. They left their homes and their safety. They went to King Herod and announced that another king had been born. They followed a star to places they'd never been and to people they'd never met. They bowed down before a child, which means they humbled themselves, and then they gave him gifts that were costly to give. What if that's worship? What if worship is leaving where we've been comfortable? What if worship is going to where we don't want to go? What if worship is being with people we aren't sure are safe for us? What if worship is making ourselves low? What if it's giving from what matters to us? Right? Like sometimes, and forgive me, I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes, but we define ourselves by certain things. I'll hear people say, well, I'm a worshiper. I think what we really mean is I'm a singer. Or that music really ministers to me. See, because worship doesn't have to have a tune. Worship is surrender. Worship is giving our hearts and our minds and our lives. Worship is being willing to trust God. Sometimes songs are a part of it. Sometimes sermons are a part of it. Sometimes acts of kindness are a part of it. But our heart is what determines if we're worshiping or not. Meaning, I can sing and not worship. I can preach and not worship. I can give and not worship. The worship is what comes from my heart. It's also what God asks for. So, right. So if you would have asked Cain, he would have said, I worshiped. And God said, I didn't ask for that. It's not acceptable. So that means, like, going again to Gary's prayer and his what he shared before the prayer, there's got to be a point where we say, if I'm going to worship, I've got to start asking God what he wants. What does he desire? Because it's easy for me to give what's easy for me to give. Right? For some of us, money doesn't matter. We'll give 10%, 20%, whatever you want. Money doesn't matter, but just don't ask for my time. And for some of us, our money matters, and we'll give you time. I'll show up anytime you want me to show up. But that 10%, that sounds like a lot. For others of us, why would I use my talent in a place where I can't get paid for it? Where I can't get acknowledged for it? See, our time, our talent, our treasure, God wants all of it, and we haven't worshiped until it's all wrapped together. Until that's what we're offering to God.